Welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. Whoa, there we go. Get started. Hey, my name is Brad. We're getting started on a little bit of NHL news, and the Red Wings beat the New York Islanders 4-2 tonight. It just happened about half an hour ago. Goodness gracious, that was a nail biter. It was frustratingly a nail biter, honestly. Because I am highly invested in the Red Wings, and they're extremely frustrating because I'm trying to make sure that they do something like what's happening with them. So if you've been watching this channel, if you've been on our, been hanging out with us, like it's been nerve-wracking. So Red Wings are actually now, I want to go over the game real quick. So we're going to go over game, and then we're going to NHL news as well. We got a Pens trade with the Nashville Predators. Biz of the TSN network got in a fight outside. If you guys know Biz, he is a commentator. He's a former NHL player. Got in a fight out of Houston's outside at a place that he likes to go. Looks like Canes are seeking a goalie. Ottawa's looking for a D-man. New York Rangers looking to make some changes. Oilers got some guys out. Jake Allen with his 200th win, and Monty gets a win with his Blues, the head coach. We're getting all that news coming up, but first let's jump into the Red Wings. The Red Wings versus the New York Islanders is their third time that they're playing with each other this year. Finally finish off the skid. Islanders, so Red Wings again win 4-2 in this, and so it actually ended up. I think the Islanders, because they have so many overtime losses, are still okay. Yeah, overtime. They have so many overtime losses. They have less regulation wins, and they have more overtime losses than the Red Wings by 3. So they're actually a point ahead of the Red Wings, but with a game in hand. So by points percentage, Red Wings are actually ahead of them, but Red Wings are still below everyone. So it is a bummer. It's okay though. Red Wings are going to do better. They're doing better. They're slowly making their way. And honestly, the Islanders are really helping Derek Lalonde keep his job. The Islanders, the Red Wings beat the Islanders, and this is their third time when it beat. There's a second time beating them this year. I think it's one of the first time they beat them in. I forget they call it a group, right? Like you beat the guy, like if you beat a team 4 times in a year, you sweep them, right? Like, or you beat them 3 times in a year, like you're against them. Like Red Wings have beaten them 2 of the 3 times, so they have one more than the Islanders have against them. I can't think of what it's called. This is why I need people to be with me when I do this stuff. So, I do want to talk about it. Islanders get so we kind of go to the game recap. Just pull it up real quick. So the Islanders did get the first goal at 15:25 from Anders Lee. Pretty sure it was Anders Lee. Assist from JG Pageau and Noah Dobson in the first period. Then we have a second goal, Moritz Seider from the top of the circle at 6:35 in the end of the first period, or at 6:35 at the end of the first period, assisted by Kopp and Fisher. Going into the second period, you actually had Kyle Palmieri had a goal, 12:18 left in the second period, off of a pad of Alex Lyon, hits it, so it's a point shot, and it goes. And we got Palmieri right in front, or Nelson right in front again. But Palmieri pockets it against. He's actually leading scorer for the Islanders as well. And so Red Wings losing going into the third period against 2-1. You have a great save by Alex Lyon, of course, and then Dylan Larkin. So there's a great shot. So we have Albert Johansson shoots from the point and tries to send it right to Larkin. It zips right past Larkin. He misses the tip on the ice to get it up. Rips around the boards. Justin Hall catches it and then puts it on net. It hits Varlamov, and Larkin swings around and gets it and swings it in. This is actually Albert Johansson's first NHL point, first NHL point, which is exciting for him as a new player this year, first year playing in the NHL. So again, we're in the third period. We have a goal by Lucas Raymond. You have Larkin taking behind the net, passes to the point. Seider across to Edmonton. Edmonton shoots it on net, and it's going wide. And Raymond getting tied up with Mayfield, tips it. It's going wide, and he tips it in past Varlamov, which is phenomenal. And then right at the end, you have Edvinsson in the Red Wings zone, throws it, lops it up. It gets tipped by an Islander and does go into the empty net. Red Wings win it 4-2. And which is just so exciting. It's just so exciting. I'm just like, I'm like, I was nail biting, to be honest. And I know, Patrick Waugh is frustrated with this. We did have a tilt. We had Andrew Kopp and who else? Andrew Kopp and Anders Lee scrapped it in the end of the third period, both getting double minors for roughing and I think it was roughing and sportsmanlike or something like that. They got 4 minutes. Basically, they were out of the game, basically. So, but it was still 5-on-5 for both teams, which ended up working out for both teams. And again, for the Red Wings, that's better. Red Wings are better at a 4-on-4. You should have seen one of their penalty kill or power plays. I was so frustrated. Red Wings power play. I swear, Islanders were doing a great job caving in. And honestly, I thought Islanders overall, I'd say, had the better game. Red Wings played good for about 10 minutes of the game, right? Which is like the 10 minutes that we saw in the third period. But overall, like I thought Islanders deserved to win that game. They deserved to win the meter. Whoever, I think it's Money Puck does that, or Money Puck, I'm pretty sure. Deserved to win a meter. Islanders deserved to win that game. It was not pleasant. I was not enjoyable. It was so frustrating. My wife's trying to grade papers and I'm yelling at the TV. So frustrated. But again, I think it was again good in the sense that you're getting a team that is slowly coming back. Again, they're just slowly coming back. I can't complain about a game where they win like this. Plus, Edmonton gets a goal and assists his first multi-point game. And then you also get Sider getting a goal and assist. Andrew Kopp getting an assist. Andrew Kopp, Christian Fisher, Justin Hall, and Aber Johansson all getting an assist. And of course, Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond getting the goal. And then on the Islander side, like we talked about before, Anders Lee getting the goal, as well as Palmieri. And then Noah Dobson, Isaiah George, Brock Nelson, and JG Pajot getting the assists. So, again, it's exciting, but exciting it was anxiety ridden, I'll be honest. So, but yeah, I think it was overall like, I mean, there's a lot of defensive mistakes. I think Sider had a hard time keeping it in on one of the plays. Evanson made a boneheaded move. Like, it was sloppy. There was some really good plays. You could see some really good effort. Berggren had really great effort. I actually kind of liked what we had with Casper, Berggren, and Veleno. I thought that was all gas. That was a ton of fun. I really liked that line. Casper is just he's such a pro right now. He's playing so well. He's this bit of youth that the Red Wings need. He's bringing a really great energy. You're not seeing on the board, which is one of the most frustrating things for him, is you're just not seeing him on the points, right? I think he has a goal or two. I think he has 2 goals. Let's pull up the stats real quick. But again, I just think Casper is such a good piece for this Wings team. Let's find out. 4 points in 16 games. Yeah, but he is playing dynamic. He's shooting at 7.7%. So you bump that up to an average like a 12-13%. You're getting about 7 points in 16 games, just to give you an idea. Yeah, it is like you're right there. Like he is playing phenomenally. I'm so impressed. I think he definitely he plays the gritty and grindy role, which I think is great. I think it'd be great to see you have him like a Rasmussen on one line, like a Casper on another line, like that kind of like getting in down and dirty. I think he really brings a lot to it. And you have Confer playing this today with because Kane ended up sitting out. So that's one guy you absolutely missed. We actually ended up seeing Petrie on the power play this today, which I thought was interesting, as we were seeing Evanson on the power play for a while. But I think Evanson was his ice time actually dropped. It felt like his ice time dropped because I was a little frustrated. There's a couple times that I was like, why wasn't he playing? Let's pull these up actually, because I'm surprised on when you're looking at these things, when you're looking at like I said, the stats in these things, you look at it and you're like, what is happening? So let me pull it up, pulling up their stats. Let's pull up the schedule actually. The schedule should be able to pull up right the dates and everything. So pull up the schedule. But again, but I understand that, because if you're gonna pull Edmonton off, it's gonna be on things that where you're like, okay, hey man, like you should have been better in that case, which makes sense. So pulling it up real quick, I'm gonna pull up the ice time. Where are you at? Oh my god, we can see the goal visualizers. Oh, on NHL Edge. Oh my god, this is gonna be so cool. Okay, this is way cool. Okay, we are gonna pull these up. Actually, I will pull these up right now. Let's share this. This is really exciting. I think you're going to really enjoy these because they're a lot of fun. In the sense that you can see what is actually happening with the goals. So here we go. This is so cool. Again, these are so much fun. So, okay, you can go, let's reset this. So this is the Anders legal. Okay. You can see. So that's 27 right there. So you're playing it through. You see the puck down in this corner right here. Down behind the net, you have Edmonton right there. You got number 44. 44 takes it, passes to 14, over to Anders, or back to 8, hits Alex Lyon. You have 44 takes it, and then you can see Andrely just takes it right there. Okay, so that was great. I love this thing. This thing's so cool. Again, we can talk about Mort Sider kind of showing. So the reason I'm using this is because you could not use the NHL. I actually did a recap of the NHL game with it was the Islanders, or maybe it was the Bruins. Might have been the Bruins game. It was the Bruins game the other day, and I did a recap watching the highlights, and it was all copywritten. And half the video it was fully copywritten, and YouTube was like, yo, you're gonna get dinged on this. And I posted it, and it's not done that well because it's copywritten material, which is fine because I'm not making money on these, so I'm gonna be able to monetize with the little amount of subscribers. By the way, hit subscribe and hit like because it really helps out me. I really appreciate it because you love me, or hopefully. If you don't love me, you're gonna learn to love me, because I said I love doing this. I have a ton of fun and ton of passion. My voice is not really there right now because I'm currently getting over being sick. But again, I think this is just so much fun with these plays and everything. So going to the more Sider goal. Okay, you can see he rips around. This is what we're talking about. Cop takes it down to Fisher down here. Pass, or taking it back to Cop. Then it rips around to Mort Sider. Shoots, rips, top left corner. Phenomenal. Love to see that. Love to see that. That was a great goal, man. So let me go to the Palmieri goal. We just talked again. We kind of walked through it. Yeah, I'm taking it in right now. Walking it in. 7 passes it to 36. 36 passes on net. It hits again. You can see it hit Alex Lyon's pads, and then again Palmieri picked up the garbage. You can see him on 21. He's ripping around. So 7 passes it back to 36 on net, and then Palmieri picks up the wrister. Puts it on goal. That was so cool. All right, and we got Dylan Larkin again. This one was a great goal. Going to Justin Hall, then to Albert Johansson. Passes, tries to tip to Larkin, doesn't go. Hall gets it back, puts it on net, and then Dylan Larkin picks it up and swings the puck around and puts it right behind Varlamov. That was awesome. That was so cool. Again, I love watching. This is a really cool app, by the way. A cool thing is NHL Edge. Lucas Raymond's goal. You can see 23 down here. Pass it down. Dylan Larkin grabs it, passes the top of the circle to 53. Then Edmonton shoots it on net and tips off. And again, Raymond puts it on net. That was phenomenal. Such a great tip. Raymond is just heating up. I think he's got 19 points in 20 games. Again, just looking really good. Just keeping good pace on what he did last year. Looking to beat what he had last year. And then you have the empty netter by Edvinson. He goes back. Edvinson grabs it and he just rips it. Tips by number 8 and then slows down. Rask could have got the tip, but no, let Simon Edvinson get the goal. That is his 3rd goal of the year. That was awesome. Right almost at the buzzer. 3 seconds left in the game. But what a cool, man! This is cool, man. I'm a big fan of this. This is a cool thing, man. I'll be honest, that is wicked cool. I thought it was gonna be kind of bogus because the NHL, like their stuff isn't always that cool. Like then they just do like it's like, oh, you're just kind of bogus. Like they just came out with NFTs recently. They call them like electronic collectibles or something like that. They're NFTs. They were NFTs, and they're behind the ball because NFTs are cool like a year or 2 ago. And now they're like, oh no, they're electronic collectibles. And I'm like, bro, they're NFTs. They're NFTs. So, anyways, so that is the game right there. Malone keeps his job. They're now 8-9-2 in the NHL standings. Again, they're tied with the Columbus Blue Jackets to tell you how good they're doing right now. There are a couple things that they could be doing that Red Wings are talking about right now. Supposedly there are rumors that they're looking to sign Joel Quenneville. Waiting kind of to find the right time to fire Derek Lalonde. But again, he won tonight, so they won 4-2. So that's a pretty good indicator. You maybe keep him for a little bit. They're also I imagine they're also looking at trades. And we're going to talk about some trades maybe later, looking to acquire Trouba, who did shoot down a trade earlier this year for personal reasons. We'll talk about that later as well. Then there's also David Juracek talking about Columbus being tied with Columbus right now in the standings, who have the same amount of points, but Columbus is a game in hand. They just sent David Juracek down to the AHL, and there's some bit of tension. I think they're looking to move off of him as well. So we'll see if there's an opportunity for the Red Wings to potentially pick up a defenseman like him. Maybe move out a guy like Sherratt. I know PJ at the end of his deal as well. So we will see if we're able to, maybe there's a trade looking to happen. Maybe you move a guy out. Maybe you move off of a guy like I think Kane. If the season goes to crap, Kane could ask for a trade. So we'll see. And Tarasenko hasn't really worked out right now. So let's jump into a quick break right now. We'll hit a break, and then we will jump right into the NHL news and notes, man. So stay tuned. Do you know the most exciting thing about Black Friday and Cyber Monday is getting an amazing deal. Except for with Raycon, because Raycon can get you an amazing deal on premium audio every day of the year. That doesn't mean they're just having any sales for Black Fridays. No, sir, and or ma'am, and or they. Far from it. They're actually doubling down on their amazing value by offering viewers up to 30% site-wide. So it's a Black Friday deal that you'll appreciate every day is Raycon's everyday earbuds. And if you haven't checked out the latest model, they're a must-have for audio lovers. They have a 32-hour battery life and a multi-connectivity that lets you pair two devices together. And if you're on an airplane, maybe you're there with your spouse or your significant other, you can watch the same movie together and you can listen together. And speaking of airplanes, what's very helpful on airplanes is some noise cancellation, the active noise cancellation that the Raycon's everyday earbuds have. And that, honestly, the great thing about it is they come at an accessible price point, unlike other competitors' headphones. And one other thing is that Raycons are start at just half the price of everyone else. So not only are you getting an incredible deal, but before you even factor in the Black Friday deal, which is up to 30% off site-wide. And if you're looking for a great headphone, what more can you ask for in a headphone? Again, I travel a ton. I use it for work. The noise cancellation is amazing. And if you don't, I highly suggest you go grab some. Again, they're everyday earbuds. Again, you're going to appreciate them every day. And also they have a 30-day happiness guarantee. So honestly, you really can't lose. It's time to save big for Black Friday. Go to buyraycon.com/THPN today to get up to 30% off site-wide. That's right. You'll get the 30% off everything on a Raycon site when you go to buyraycon.com/THPN. The 24-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started at DraftKings Sportsbook. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. And of course, if you're listening to this, you're probably a Red Wings fan. You can definitely bet the puck line, the total, the money line, how many goals are going to be scored over or under. Example is most of them are coming up is at like 6. So you can be like over 6 goals or under 6 goals. You can get all the action at Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers. Get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit cpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive award. Bonus bet expires 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice. Honestly, I think I killed that beard, that mustache. That was a sick mustache. It's a great mustache. So moving on to NHL news and notes. We're going to hit up with a couple of a couple smaller things right now. We got Jake Allen with his 200th win. To me, Jake Allen, of course, now playing with the New Jersey Devils. He started with the St. Louis Blues, and he also got traded to the Montreal Canadiens, and now is with the New Jersey Devils. To me, Jake Allen, you're always a Blue, man. You're always a Blue. Only played one game in the playoffs, and then Benner took over and to win that 2019 Stanley Cup. But good for you, man. Congratulations. Bravo. So Speaking of the Blues, we want to talk about Jim Montgomery. Of course, we already talked about in yesterday's video or earlier, a couple of weeks. I mean, honestly, I'm recording every day. I don't know what day I recorded that Monty got fired, but it was actually last week because we recorded with Maria and Caroline of the Bruins Tape to Tape podcast. If you want to go check that out, we did a great podcast with them. They're phenomenal people. They were so nice to talk to. Talked a ton of Bruins hockey. If that's something you're very much into. So, but Jim Montgomery first win as a head coach of the St. Louis Blues, a 5-2 win over the New York Rangers, who just talked about doing a rebuild, by the way. Or not doing a rebuild, doing some major changes. But it was a season high shots, 42 for the St. Louis Blues, which is good to see that. I mean, because the St. Louis Blues, again, they're kind of in that mushy middle. Something that they can really take off. They can really use this as a good stepping point right now. In their last 10, even with this win, they're 3-6-1, right? So, and they're minus 18 goal differential. So you're really looking to start something fresh and new. You're going to get that little bit of that new coach bump. Is something, and that's something that they need, right? If they can they can pile on a couple more wins, they can do a wild card spot potentially. Although that Central is looking pretty stacked. I mean, there's some big winners in the Western Conference. I'll tell you, man. There's some. I mean, Winnipeg, of course, looking phenomenal. Minnesota's looking phenomenal. Vegas Golden Knights looking great as well. Calgary Flames coming out of nowhere. There's some heavy hitters. So a coach change this early is smart for the St. Louis Blues. Again, you have some new players and everything too. Kind of have to remesh them as well. You're kind of in this mushy middle. They are in the middle of a retool, not a rebuild, a retool because try and keep some of the older core. Similar to what the LA Kings did. They still have some of their older players like Drew Doughty. But you have young guys now that they have Byfield as well, and now Blues are bringing in the offer sheet Dylan Holloway and Broberg. Cairo and Thomas are kind of your leaders in the next gen. You bring in a Suter, like a good veteran like that, but you have Perenovich as well. Binners, I think he's almost 30 as well. So you have some veteran guys there, but you have a young guy like Hofer who's looking phenomenal. Actually, this past game today, Hofer actually put up in a 5-2 victory. A .931 save percentage, phenomenal. 27 saves on 29 shots, so looking good there, man. Hofer, the next goalie of the future for the St. Louis Blues. So, another piece of it news is Ottawa is looking for a D-man. Currently, Arton Zoom has a fractured foot. So there is a note. One of the notes that they talked about is that they talked about how they were lacking defensive depth, and so that's something that you have to consider, especially with Ottawa's standings right now. Ottawa is second to last in the Eastern Conference, 17 points in 20 games. Just only team below them is the Montreal Canadiens in the conference. And the only other team below them in the standings, you can not tie below them in the standings, is the Chicago Blackhawks, 16 points in 21 games. So you're looking at a team that need to do something. And like I said, again, Zuby now, I imagine they're not looking to spend a ton of money, but I think they are going to look to, again, make a trade. So we'll see I don't know how much they're going to be sending out. So there was talks of Norris being moved as well. I don't know if that's going to be, I don't know if that's true. It was something I read online, but again, I don't want to spread that rumor around, but that's something that I read. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying I read it and someone said it. So again, it is the internet. So take it all with a grain of salt, Get your news from good sources like Chris Johnston, Elliot Friedman. I did not get that from them, so that's why I want to talk. Say, hey, it was mentioned, but it's not a credible source, so don't go spreading it yet. But it is interesting. It is interesting if you heard about it. So, moving on, we're going to talk about Biz. So again, TSN analyst Paul Bissonette gets in a fight at a restaurant called Houston's. There's a video of him. He just talked about it. He actually will be releasing a podcast tomorrow, I believe, in the Spit and Chicklets podcast. But if you haven't heard already, Paul Bissonette got in a fight. He was at a restaurant that he's very familiar with. It's a family restaurant called Houston's. He says he goes there like 4 or 5 times a week. 3, 4. I think it's like 4 or 5 times a week. I think he was sitting at the bar, and some drunk golfers were in there. There were 7 of them at one point, and then one of the guys was yelling at the manager, kind of like grabbed his, was kind of getting in his face and everything, yelling, and the manager was kind of stunned and everything. So they kicked that guy out, and then another guy started going on they were drunk and they're being belligerent, and one of the guys got in the manager's face again, and Biz walked over because he's very familiar with the staff, familiar with the manager and the restaurant and everything. goes over there, steps up. Hey man, if you guys don't settle down, if you guys don't settle down or get out of here, there's going to be some problems. And I guess they start swinging. They took it out to the CVS parking lot across the street or outside. I guess took out a couple guys, took out a couple good hits, but 6 of the 7 guys ended up getting arrested. Police responded pretty quickly. He took a couple licks. I guess as he would say, he took some hits, gave some more. So wishing nothing but the best for Paul Bissonette and Biz, and hopefully a speedy recovery for him. And good for him sticking up for his local pub or local restaurant and everything. Putting his good hockey swinging fights or fight to good use, right? So again, good for you, Paul. Appreciate you sticking up for those guys, your restaurant there. So moving on to the next part. We have the Oilers. We have 2 guys that are out for the next 5 to 8 days. Zach Hyman and Victor Arvidsson out 5 to 8 days. They're going to miss the Utah and Colorado games up and coming, which is so interesting. So if we're going to go to Puckpedia, we're looking at some of these guys that are being playing, because to me they just waived a couple guys as well, which is so interesting, because I'm like, okay, why'd you waive some guys, send some guys down if you have a lot of injuries on the line in the lineup? So we're going to their depth chart on Puckpedia. Just check their lineups right now. Currently you got Nuge, McDavid, Kapanen on the top line. Look at you, man. Podkolzin, dude, this is comical. This is dude, I gotta show you guys this. So you have Kane out, you have Arvidsson, you have Hyman. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to pull this up real quick, just to present this quick. Just give me a hot second. Show you the lines of this. Okay, you have, look at you go up to the offense, right? You got Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, right? So again, making a reasonable salary. $1 million is Kapanen playing on Connor McDavid's wing. It's so funny. And you have Draisaitl making $8.5 million. He's going to jump into 14 next year, playing with is this Connor Brown? I think this is Connor Brown. You have Connor Brown, who by the way has 7 points in 22 games, and then you have Vasily Podkolzin. Let's pull up his stats real quick. He's got 6 points in 22 games. Oh, that's not too crazy. That's Connor Brown has 0.3 goals per game, and Vasily Podkolzin is like 0.25, 7 points per game. Oh, what does Leon Draisaitl has? 30 points in 22 games, 1.36 points per game. He's getting a point. He's getting 4 points every 3 games. That's phenomenal. That cracks me up right there. Just shows me you're loading on the centers. I mean, they're definitely worth it. It's not. There's no question that they're not worth it or anything. It just cracks me up. So, oh my god, that's so funny. Also, there was talks about potentially that Edmonton is looking to potentially replace Pickard. So they're looking to potentially upgrade in the backup position. So that may be someone that they're looking for, and looking for a different goalie. Maybe send him down to the AHL or something like that, or just keep him on the, maybe you send down Ty Emberson or someone like that, or or you send out Brett Kulak. I mean, there's different options here and there. I don't think they have anyone they can waive or send down. No, they don't got anyone young enough. Yep, Podkolzin. He's probably not waiver eligible anymore. So either way, I think they're going to be upgrading on Pickard, Calvin Pickard, former Red Wing, by the way, which again we love. So speaking of goalies as well, we have the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's get off this. Carolina Hurricanes. They have 2 goalies out. They have their first off, the one goalie they had out was what are we talking about? Anderson. He's out 6 to 12 or 8 to 12 weeks. Getting his he had some stuff cleared up at his knee. It's gonna be kind of just like it was just nothing major. It was just something that they had to take care of and everything. And so they just cleared that up. He will be out indefinitely. So they end up bringing up Peretz. So Spencer Martin. So let me back up. Sorry, I apologize. That was too quick. So Canes are looking for a goalie. And the reason they're looking for a goalie is because they have 2 goalies out. Anderson's out 8 to 12 weeks with a knee. He had his knee cleared up for everything. And then we had, of course, tragic. Kochetkov got hit in the head, I believe it was by Sean Walker, his own teammate, while defending a guy. Gets hit in the side of the head while coming out of the net, and blacks out behind the net. So he's currently on concussion watch. Honestly, I again, feel terrible for them. Again, they're just not having good goalie luck either. They rarely Canes rarely have good goalie luck. But they have Spencer Martin, a waiver claim pickup from the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then they re-signed him as well. He's played 5 games this year. He's got a .87 save percentage and a 3.21 goals against average. He's a third goalie, right? He's been in the AHL a lot. So they also bring up Yana Pretz. Has not played a game this year. He's on a 2-year deal. His entry level contract. Let's see, he was undrafted, which is cool for him, man. He's getting an opportunity potentially. He played 1 game last year in the NHL. He did have a shutout. I think he must have filled in for someone at that point. So, but currently, before getting called up, he was playing with Chicago Wolves. Had 3 games played. 3 games played. A 3.67 goals against average and a .825 save percentage. That is not ideal. So we'll see if he ends up getting any time. I imagine he might get some time, but I don't know what their schedule looks like. If they can just every other day, maybe just rock. If they don't have any back-to-backs, I don't know if he'll get any playing time. Probably end up just running Spencer Martin, but we will see. So we have as a lot of the news right now. So we're gonna look at we're gonna take another quick break. We're gonna jump into our last. We got a quick ad, and then we're gonna jump into what the New York Rangers are looking for to make in changes. Again, moving out Chris Kreider, and again the Pens making a trade for Tomasino from the Nashville Predators. So stay tuned. Next section, and we'll be right back. You know what that sound is? That's the sound of ice skates skating on the ice at your favorite team's hockey game. There's nothing like the excitement of being at a game, the crowd, the energy, the roar, the chants, the songs. It's just so much to it. And the best way you're going to be able to find an amazing seat and an amazing game is going to be at Game Time. Game Time also has this new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff and shows you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. And my wife and I were actually end up going to a Detroit Red Wings game on December 2nd, I believe it is. That's one that we're looking at, and talk about a super deal. And you can actually find any concert tickets there. You can do comedy. There's so many different options there. They also have curated deals to make it easier to find the best deals on great seats. And also you can see the view of your seat before you buy. They have a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection as well. One thing I really enjoy about it is the all-in pricing. Toggle this feature to show the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. So you can also get a panoramic, again, talking about your view, it's a panoramic view. You can see the sea, not just like look at the stage. You get the full panoramic view. And they also have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And so take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, jump into section 3 of our of our news and notes, or section 3 of our video news and notes. Again, we're talking about the the Pens trade for Philip Tomasino from the Nashville Predators. He was a first overall pick in 2019, 24th overall. He only had to play 11 games this year with 1 point, only 1 assist. He got a first round pick, which I thought was very interesting. That the Nashville is trading out another first round pick, and they only get a fourth round pick back, a 2027 fourth round pick by the New York Rangers. So not that great. Now, mind you, if we're looking at some of his point production in his first season with the Nashville Predators in 21-22, he had 32 points in 76 games. 11 goals and 21 assists. And so I'm curious, he kind of just ended up losing, supposedly with what I was reading, he was losing a lot of ice time. And so basically the next year he goes 18 points in 31 games, 20 points in 41 games. So again, half point per game player, basically. That's what he was looking at. And this year, of course, is not producing, not being able to, you brought all these guys as well, too. So like you kind of put them down in the lineup with the Marshall ad, the Stamkos ad. The year before that, you had Riley and you had Nyquist, and there's just a bunch of guys that you bring in. And so like, I'm not surprised that this first rounder gets kind of shoved down. Actually, let's look at some of his numbers that he did when he was younger. So he got drafted in 2019. So mind you, in the OHL with the Niagara Ice Dogs, 72 points in 67 games. Again, the following year, 57 points in 36 games, 43 points in 26 games. I mean, he's looking phenomenal. And even in the AHL with the Chicago Wolves, he had 32 points in 29 games. With the Milwaukee Admirals, he had 32 points in 38 games. Was still doing pretty well. So yeah, I don't really know. Actually, and last year, 18 points in 22 games. So again, he's still producing at the AHL level. It just wasn't working out in this case. And two things. There's two perspectives of this, right? You have the Penguins perspective, which is Pens are making smart moves, right? A young 20, I think he's 23 right now. 2019 draft, he's 23. 23-year-old. He's produced before. He doesn't have the opportunity right now. And so Pens are like, well, shit, I'll give you a 4th round pick for him. Like, that was an easy move. And so many other teams would be like, all he costs was a 4th round pick. That's all it costs. Like, I think that was a smart move. I think it was good of Nashville and Nashville's going to move on. No big deal. Just move forward. And which is okay. But I think that was a little too soon with these young guys. But it's so interesting with Nashville. And the reason I want to emphasize this, and so let's knock out the Pens. I mean, the Pens, again, this is an easy, cheap move. This is a risk, right? It's a cheap risk, though. This is smart. This is what the Pens should be doing, picking up guys like this. He's on the last year's contract. If he works out, great. If he doesn't, you flip him at the deadline, or I mean, honestly, I would just re-sign him and keep trying him. He's a young player that might work out long term. If not, maybe like a third line guy. He's played NHL minutes. He's played 4 years in the NHL. So again, this is a very low risk for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who need all the help they can get, honestly. Because all their old guys are old, and they need to get young, right? So on the other side with the Nashville Predators, the reason I want to emphasize this is because Nick Morgan put out a tweet. I saw the Preds first rounders from 2011 to 2020. Seth Jones traded at age 21. Kevin Fiala traded at age 22. Dante Fabro waived at age 26. Ellie Tolvanen waived at age 23. Philip Tomasino traded at age 23. Yaroslav Askarov traded at age 22. I mean, to me, like, what's happened? They're just trading all these guys. And then as well as I think so here's Seth Jones. Oh, Austin Watson in 2010. So this is going all the first round draft picks that they traded. The 2020 first round draft pick, 2019, 2017, 2016, 2014, 2013, 2010. These are all guys that their guys picked and then traded. They ended up trading Austin Watson as well in 2010. Is the one that I did not mention. But still, it's a little bit concerning in that sense that you trust your team to make these picks, and then you move off of them. Mind you, I will say the one thing I'll say is the Askarov trade. So a couple things. A couple of guys right now. So mind you, David Poile was the guy for forever, right? And then recently Barry Trotz took over. And so Barry Trotz has no attachment to these guys. His guys didn't pick him. They're not his guys. So he has no attachment to them. So he's like, you're not working out. Bye. See you later. So to give you an example, Dante Fabro, not his pick. He waived and then went to Columbus Blue Jackets. Ellie Tolvanen, I think Ellie Tolvanen was a David Poile. He didn't want him to. He wanted to keep him, but he was just ended up being too good. He's working out really well in Seattle. Philip Tomasino, again, a David Poile pick. No relation for Barry Trotz. Doesn't care. He's gone. Yaroslav Askarov, again, no relation. He signs UC Saros. He's gone, right? Honestly, he signed UC Saros for 8 years. 8 years after this year. So, and if Barry Trotz is still here, then he'll be damn happy. He'll be so happy. He'll find another goalie in the next 8 years that they can develop and become an all-star, hopefully. But to me, it's really interesting that, I mean, that's kind of what happens is to me, Nashville's, you're kind of what's happened is it's like you grew up in your childhood home, it feels like, and then someone new moves in and they make all these changes. You're like, this doesn't feel the same. There's still the same bones here, right? You still have a Saros, you still have like a Roman Yossi, you still have like a Philip Forsberg, right? But like, there's a lot of different moving parts here, right? And there's a lot of different changes. And I wonder if this is the start of Barry Trotz making these moves. I know there are some rumors that people are calling about the 3 first-round picks that he has, and he does not want to move them, which I think is smart right now. Kind of hold on to them because you may need them for part of a rebuild. Because why would Nashville trade these first-round picks if the team's looking like shit? If the team's looking like shit, he's already said that he's willing to start his rebuild plan, which would be crazy, by the way, for the guys you just signed, like Brady Shea, Stamkos, like Marcia Show. Like, I mean, and there's a couple guys you can move off of. You can move off of like a Gus Nyquist. I wonder how he's doing right now. Let's check out his stats right now. 9 points, 21 games. He's move offable, right? That's that guy that's move offable, right? You know, Colton Sisson's a move offable, 31 years old. Cole Smith, move offable, right? And you can start bringing up some of these young guys like Fedor Svechkov. You have Zachary LaRue. Again, a very highly touted prospect. Very excited about him. Luke Evangelista, like that'd be great for him, right? There's some guys you can keep up here, these young guys that can really show up and show out. Because when you're looking to make some changes, a couple changes that the GM can make, you can trade, you can bring in guys, you can trade out guys, you can waive guys. So you waive Dante Fabro, he's gone. You trade Philip Tomasino, he's gone. So there's 2 roster guys that started with the team that are now gone, right? And then you can fire the coach. Well, you got a new coach last year, right? Or you got Andrew Brunette is a new coach last year. He got him in the playoffs, right? So you're like, okay, well, why not? I'm not going to fire him yet, but it is a possibility that they could fire him as well. You know, you could scratch guys. I don't follow the Devils or the Preds super carefully, but I imagine they're scratching guys on a regular basis because they're not stepping up. So I'm curious on what the next move is, because it may be firing the coach or maybe a big trade. Maybe you move out. I mean, you're going to keep the guys you just signed. You're going to keep Philip Forsberg again, Ryan O'Reilly, of course, right? But there's a lot of guys like Michael McCarron. I don't know if how well is he doing this year, right? Like, he's got 4 points in 18 games. I don't know his position. He's a right winger, 6'6", 331 pounds. Jesus Christ. 331 pounds is the same weight as me, and he's got 8 inches on me. Jesus Christ. That's awesome. Good for him. But again, I'm concerned. I mean, I'm concerned. Like, it's looking rough. And Nashville is, let's see where they're at in the standings. I apologize. It's getting late. 17 points in 22 games. Jesus, that is not good. That is not good at all. I'll give you an example. Vegas Golden Knights have 30 points in 22 games. Nashville has 17 points in 22 games. They're 3-5-2 in their last 10, negative 18 goals against average. Dude, is Saros even playing bad? I think we did this last time I looked at them, because I'm wondering if they're just not putting up enough goals. 52 goals. Yeah, they're not playing well. Let's rank these. 52 goals. So at 52 goals, they are the fourth amount of goals in the NHL that are being scored. 4th lowest. So that's rough. And if we're going to goals against, they're fourth highest number of goals in the conference, and they're like 9th. They're 9th. They're tied for 9th in goals against in the league. So they're having a hard time keeping the pucks out, but at the same time, they need to put more pucks in the net. That's a bigger thing. You need to get some scoring happening here. Young Rossi and Philip Forsberg, 17 points, 22 games. These guys got to be point per game guys. You guys have to step up on some of these things, and so we'll see. I'm curious on what's going to happen. It's going to get dark real quick for these guys, real quick. I mean, who's got a plus minus average, a positive plus minus average? Okay. Okay, let's real quick. Luke, okay, I'm looking at their plus minus, which of course is a flawed stat. So if you don't know what plus minus is, it's for people, so it doesn't count power play or penalty kill. It only counts even strength. Luke Evangelista is the only one with a positive plus minus at 1 after 20 games plays. played. There's 2 other guys that have a 0 plus minus on that played for the Nashville Predators. Fedor Svechkov. So he's got played 2 games. He's got plus minus 0. Okay, he's played 2 games. He's played 7.5 minutes per game. Like, it's very low. The other guy is 0, 11 games played, is Philip Tomasino, and he's gone. So it doesn't even help at all. So like everyone else is going to have, everyone else is having a rough time to say the least. So so, and lastly, I mean, Nashville, I mean, they have to do something. I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. I think maybe they need a U2 trip. We'll see. Maybe they just need a U2 trip to knock off the cobwebs. I don't know. But lastly, I do want to talk about the New York Rangers. New York Rangers are saying they want to do a retool. Not a retool. I keep saying a retool. They're looking to make big changes, and 2 big changes they talked about are moving off of Chris Kreider and what's his face? Jacob Trouba. So Chris Kreider does have a 15-team no trade list for the next 3 years at $6.5 million. That one is doable. Chris Kreider is a movable contract. He currently has 9 points in 19 games, all goals. He's a half point. Again, I did this the other day. He's got 9 goals in 19 games. So basically, he's going to put up 40 goals. He's basically going to put up 40 goals. At this rate, he'll put up 40 goals, no assists, which is so funny. And you're like, dude, like this. You have a guy who's a former assistant captain at $6.5 million, and he's only a half a point per game player. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, it's 40 goals. Like, he can do it because he's done 40 goals before. So, like, this is absolutely doable. It's a guy that people would be willing to take. Again, 15-team no trade list. So I'm curious on who'll be willing to take him, because that is tough, right? So if we go to teams that with the cap space, if we go to the capology of everything, which that is not what I needed. So going to teams and where they are with how much current cap space they have, they can even fit them. I mean, there's plenty of teams. I mean, we're looking at if no one moved anything, right? If you didn't move anything at all, Blackhawks, Sabres, Canadians, Utah, Preds, Kings, Sharks, Islanders would love a Kreider. Holy smokes. Flames, Ducks, Jackets, like, I mean, Blue Jackets, like, those are plenty of guys. And again, guys, if you if you have some guys you have New York either retain or take a guy back. I mean, Colorado would take him, Jets would take him, Wings could take him, Blues can take him, Kraken could take him, right? I imagine the Penguins would even be willing to take a crack at him, but I don't know if they're on his do you imagine Kreider with a Crosby? Oh, that'd be so dirty. That'd be so good. So that's a guy I think you can get assets for. Again, they're gonna want roster players back. So I'm curious on what type of roster players you'd like to get back in that case. I imagine they want to get a little bit younger, but they want guys that can produce, right? They're gonna want guys like the way Calgary moved out like Noah Hannafin as an example, right? A guy that's useful now that Vegas can use now. 28 years old at the time. I think he was 28 years old, and they signed him to an 8-year contract. So again, you don't worry about the other 4+ years. You get him cheap for now. So I think that's someone like that would be what the Rangers looking for, is a guy that's in his prime that they're looking to win with now. So they sound like most teams are up for willing. Like, looks like they're willing to trade out most people. I mean, you're not going to trade like an Adam Fox or anything, but I know someone they may want to trade that I heard Grav talking about. He works for Sportsnet. Supposedly Zibanejad is not playing that great either. Let's pull up a New York Rangers right now and see some point totals and some stats right now. See some guys they may looking to move that aren't performing that well. Zibanejad, where are you at? 15 points, 20 games. I mean, it's not what we're used to seeing from him. Alexi Lafreniere, 16 points in 20 games. So that's decent. Artemi Panarin, of course, always on fire. 26 points in 20 games. Will Cooley looking really good right now. 17 points, 20 games. Adam Fox, of course, 17 points, 20 games. Riley Smith's been okay. He's kind of a third line guy. Actually, 11 points, 20 games. That's not terrible, right? But there's some guys I'm just like, ugh, like, brother, so I love that meme. Brother, but again, another guy that they're talking about moving in. We talked about Chris Kreider. Is Jacob Trouba, 6 points in 20 games. Is playing 20 and a half minutes a night. He shot 42 times, no goals, of course, but put up 17 penalty minutes. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm curious. He does have, I think he also has a going to his, let's go to his, going to Rangers. I'm pretty sure he had a full no move clause last year. And then because they were looking, they're like, hey man, we want to trade you to the Detroit. Detroit wants you. And he's like, no. And so he said, no, like I don't want to be traded to Detroit. Like my wife's finishing her doctorate degree in New York. It's more important that she stays in New York to finish the other doctorate degree. She has this year left to be able to finish her degree. And so because Trouba earned it, his next year, 2024-25, he gets 15 teams he gets to choose that he doesn't want to be traded to. So he puts Detroit on that list. And to me, that is totally within, that is the person who signed him gave him that right. And so he is exercising right. And I have no problem with that at all. The thing I could see Chris Drury doing for Trouba is they say, hey man, like we got to trade for you for Columbus. And they're like, Columbus isn't on your trade list, so we're going to be sending you to Columbus. He's like, well, I don't want to go to Columbus. I won't report. And they're like, well, listen, we need to trade you. We need to move off of you. It's too much money and all that stuff. Like, we need to move you. So we can't do. We have a deal with Detroit theoretically, right? We can either send you to Columbus or San Jose or whatever team is available that's on his no trade. He's available to be traded to. Nice. He's available to be traded to. And you can kind of leverage him. And it's kind of gross, but this is kind of how the business works. You're like, hey, or we can trade you to a place you don't want to go to, or we can trade you to Detroit, a place that you probably will end up going to after your wife's done with her stuff. Like they want you and everything. It's so like it's an opportunity. Like he went to U of M. He went to U of M. I know he's from Michigan or he went to U of M. Yeah, he's from Rochester. Hey, he's from where I live. That's funny. So he's from Rochester, Michigan. So I think he went to, and I want to say he went to U of M. I'm very sure he went to U of M, actually. Let me pull it up real quick. Yep, University of Michigan, 29 points, 37 games. And then I'm going to the Jets, of course. So again, 6 points, 20 games. I could see him doing something. I could see the Rangers doing something like that, where they're like, hey, man, it's just going to be, we're going to have to trade you. You can decide where you want to go, or we can just do it because it's not on your list. So we'll see. Maybe he does something interesting, like you trade him to like I don't know who's a rebuilding team in that area. That would be smart for Trouba. You don't want to go. The Islanders are still in it. Boston's still in it. Kind of. Boston's kind of in it. Buffalo's going for it. Like you'd hate for him to be traded. Like, so I could see another opportunity where you like, because they have to retain salary, right? So you like, oh, maybe you do like Utah, or you do like that retains the salary or something like that. Or I don't know who else retains that, or can't do San Jose because they already have all the retention slots taken up by Erik Karlsson, Tomas Hertl, and Brent Burns. I believe Brent Burns at the end of this year. So a couple other ones that I heard that they could be trading is Ryan Lindgren. I guess he's been kind of slowing down a little bit as well. I don't watch a ton of Rangers games. He got 2 points in 14 games, but a good defensive defenseman. 26 years old. There's supposedly that they could move him. Keandre Miller's another one as well. Again, but he's a little bit young. He's 24 years old. So maybe you'd be a little too hard pressed to move a guy like that who's so young already. So those are two options as well. Again, Will Cooley's looking really good right now. You can't, maybe this is the time to move Kako. Let's see where Kako is at right now. I mean, 11 points in 19 games, and that's not terrible, right? But that's someone that you could absolutely move that they tried moving before. So these are some options you can just trade out, right? But again, if you're moving all these young players, like you need guys that are bangers now that are going to be good, dude. Dude, they have Zibanejad till 2030. Oh, holy smokes! 14 games in 19 or 14 points in 19 games. They have him until 2030. That makes them 37 when they. Oh, and he's 31 right now, so they have him for another 6 years. Ooh, yeah, Rangers are going to be looking to make some moves. Chris Drury is going to be looking to make some moves. So I'm curious though. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who do you think the New York Rangers are going to move? What do you think Nashville's going to do? Because Nashville has needs a ton of help there. Or any of the other news? Monty getting his first win. Who do you think the Hurricanes seek out as a goalie? I mean, a couple of the that I've heard. You have Reimer up in Buffalo. You have Detroit, of course. Again, I'm a Detroit fan, so you're looking at how many goalies they have. They have Talbot. I don't think they're going to trade because they have him for the next year. Lions a good option at $900,000. They have Husso down in the AHL. He's already waived. So Redmonds could retain half of that and get a pick back. They have Jack Campbell down there as well. So you have a plethora of goalies. They have 4 NHL goalies on contract. So there's something that could be due. I think Alex Lyon is definitely an opportunity there, which would be a bummer because Alex Lyon is he's so much fun. He's so adorable. He's so funny too. His dream job, by the way, his dream job is to be a guy. If he wasn't playing hockey, it would be driving a bus where he goes and picks up dogs. That would be it. That's his job. And I love that for him, man. So anyways, hit like, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on the episode. Put your favorite emoji at the end. And I'll catch you in the next one. Love you, man. See ya.